Hello everyone, it is me, Akenisha, your favorite boutique consultant, and as I mentioned in my last video, we are going to be talking about something that I don't think anyone has ever talked about in regards to an online boutique. So as I mentioned in the last video, I watched at least 60 different runway shows from the spring summer 2020 fashion weeks because, you know, quarantine life, I was bored. So I decided to rewatch some of my favorite ones and watch some of designers that I never really watched before. And in doing so, I ended up kind of connecting my online boutique with the runway shows in a way. So we're going to talk about that. So the very first thing I want to ask you, from what I learned, I want you to ask yourself, does your customer want to be your model? Think about that. That should be one of the very first things you ask yourself when you're picking models to wear your clothing, as well as the pictures you're going to have them, where you're going to have them posed, basically, for the pictures on your Instagram pages and your website. So think about other brands, other boutiques that are Instagram boutiques. So Fashionable, for example, they choose certain models. They choose models that have those type of, you know, bodies that make some women who they're targeting, they want to look like that particular girl, that particular model who's wearing those jeans. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. There is one particular boutique. I don't want to say the name, so I'm not going to say them. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. There are other brands. We just put it that way. Think about other brands, your favorite brands, or other Instagram boutiques that you have come across, and look at their pictures. Does it draw you in and make you want to be that girl? If so, that means they're doing their job. They are figuring out who their customer is, targeting them in such a way that they have the correct models to appeal to you in the clothes that will appeal to you. So that way it gets you to click on that website, go and add that item to the cart, and there's a sale. So ask yourself that. Does your customer want to be your model? And definitely ask yourself that when you're going to be using certain vendor pictures. Is this vendor picture going to make my customer want to be this model and buy this item from me? Most likely not if you're using certain vendor pictures. Now, the second one, is your brand consistent and recognizable? One of my favorite shows from like every single fashion week. If you all hear my son, I'm sorry. He's like literally right behind the phone. Give me a second. Hold on. All right, sorry, had to get my son again so you can kind of see his little head right here. So he's gonna be chilling right here while we finish this video. Okay, so what I was saying was there are two designers that are like my absolute favorites to watch for Fashion Week, and that's Versace and I love Balmain. I've heard it pronounced Balmain or Balmain, whatever, but those are my absolute two favorite ones. And one thing that I learned from watching their shows is I actually watched both of theirs. You know, I watched the fall winter one and the spring summer. I watched them when they actually first aired, and then I watched them again when I was just rewatching stuff. So when I was watching those, I noticed that not just them, but other designers as well, their models have distinct walks. Even if they had the same model, their walks were different with different designers. And then I noticed that, you know, they had a certain air about them. You could tell based off of their walk, again, as well as the clothing. So I can tell, not even by having someone announce it or anything, I can immediately tell when it's a Versace runway. I can immediately tell when it's a Balmain runway. I can tell when it's a Brandon Maxwell runway. Who else has distinct? Ferragamo has distinct ones. Valentino's are kind of distinct. Stella McCartney's is distinct. There's certain ones you can just tell if it's their brand or not. So, for example, with Versace, if you watch their spring summer 2020 collection, and then right afterwards watch the fall winter one, you will see what I'm saying. Their models for Versace, they're kind of like, they're that type of girl where you would see them walking like maybe down the street in New York. They're very fashion forward, head up, nose up in the air. They look kind of stuck up, unapproachable, but they're fly as hell and you would be kind of intimidated to talk to them. That's the Versace girl. That's the air and the vibe that I get from her models. Whereas with Balmain, if you look at theirs, it's more like They're the trendsetters. They're wearing stuff that people probably wouldn't dare to wear, but they probably want to wear, but they're scared to wear. And then they're party girls. They're a little bit more approachable. Those are the Balmain models. You know what I'm saying? And then Brandon Maxwell, a little bit more casual. They are the girl next door that is super fashion forward. I would put it that way. So his clothes, they're a little bit more casual. You could wear them to brunch. You could wear them out. You could do late night with them. But they're still trendy. They're still something that would turn the next person's head. You know what I'm saying? So that is what you should be asking yourself too. Is your brand recognizable? Is it consistent? If you did a runway show, would people be able to tell by your models how they look and how they walk if it's your brand? So it ties in again if your customer wants to be that model that they see on that runway, or that is in your brand. You know what I'm saying? You all get what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to explain, but I know some of y'all understand what I'm saying. But just go to YouTube and watch Versace's runway, spring, summer, and fall, winter of 2020. And also watch Tom Ford, but Tom Ford's men runway. That one is always distinct, and I can always tell when it's a Tom Ford runway, for men anyway. So the very last thing is, this one isn't really a question. This is just something that I noticed. And so I've actually started doing it myself. I noticed that collections keep you on track. When you are releasing a collection, it keeps you consistent. Everything has a theme. You have certain colors. You have a certain feel. You're going for a certain vibe, all of that stuff. So I actually decided to do that. So now all of the clothing on my website is now separated by collections and not by size and categories. It's just collections. So it keeps me on track. It keeps me consistent because I know who I'm buying for. I know if she is going to like this particular, you know, like if she's going to like this, she's going to like this other thing, you know, because they all relate to each other. They all flow together. So then not only is my clothing consistent, but my pictures are going to be consistent because all of these clothing items are going to flow together, which makes my social media more attractive, like Instagram, because everything is flowing together. Everything is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. The colors are the same. Well, not the same color, but you know, same family. The theme is consistent. My captions will be great because everything is strategically planned out and themed. So that is another idea for you all, is collections. Even if you don't separate your entire website into collections like I did, just release one collection every few weeks or a month or something, whatever your budget permits you to do. And I guarantee you, you will notice a difference in how easy it is for you to sell those particular clothing pieces. Hold on, y'all. You okay? Oh no, he has super long nails and he just scratched his forehead. Lord. And y'all see, once again, I didn't really do nothing to my hair. Quarantine life. And those that be getting on YouTube and they are all done up, y'all already know that ain't me. Number one, I can't do makeup. Number two, it ain't that serious. I'm not going to get myself done up just to do a YouTube video. So, yeah. So here's baby boy making all that noise. Okay, so as I was watching that, I also came up with another thing. Basically, okay, so when Versace's came on, I obviously cannot sell Versace in my boutique. But there are trends that were trending throughout a bunch of different designers' runway shows. And I was like, well, I need to find these type of items too for my boutique, because obviously that's what's trending. And then, of course, those who are, you know, fans of Versace, they would want to wear something Versace-ish, but they don't have the Versace budget. So that's why I went to Versace's website. I looked for the items that I liked from the runway. I screenshot them and then I searched for them on Fashion Go's website. Let me get him out the way because he's trying to get my necklace. So I searched for them on Fashion Go's website and came up to some similar things. So my idea for the next video is going to be about something that I think is going to interest a lot of you, especially those of you who are interested in the buying process, vendors, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to talk about Fashion Nova versus Rainbow. That's all I'm going to say. You all have to tune into the next video to see exactly what that video is going to be about and what we're going to discuss and how this is totally going to change your thinking of vendors and branding and marketing and all of that stuff. That we're gonna discuss some things. We're gonna dissect some things. So make sure you all like this video, share, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you will know when I post that video about Fashion Nova versus Rainbow. And also make sure you all are following me on Instagram. I post a lot of tips that I don't talk about up here on YouTube. So make sure you click the link in the description box. Follow me on Instagram. Get some free tips from up there. I don't post a whole lot in my stories. I'm more so posting my feed. But I give out a lot of tips for Instagram growth as well as, you know, boutique tips. So yeah, let me see you all on Instagram too as well as YouTube. So thank you all for watching. And like I said, find me on Instagram and tune in to the next video all about Fashion Nova and Rainbow. Bye, you guys.